The thing that I love about the Wise Guys teams is that you guys have a knack for finding the most passionate founders. They know what they're doing, they believe in what they're doing, and nothing is going to stop them.
It is really intense, I have to say, but I really enjoy it because I feel every day I'm totally evolving in this program, and I see that I have so many weapons already.
It's challenging at times. We come with a strong background of doing a lot of things at once, but it's just amazing to be next to the teams, showing all the creativity you can to help them. So it's not something you have to deliver, it's very creative work, and that's what I'm very surprised that they really like it.
I think the best of the people part always. You already know everything, but here the borders are infinite, just so much things to learn.
One of them is the passion, and the other one is how much we care about each other. Among everything, we are a team that really likes to spend time with each other, and part of that is because we all share the mission.
Because I always had the feeling that this is the family that I have.
This is not a job, this is what we love to do. I think when you can mix that one, it's great. We just have to sometimes understand that, hey, there is more people around us that we have to put some time for them.
For us, it was mainly like a crash course startup MBA, basically, kind of. It's kind of like a bottle of good wine, kind of that keeps getting better all the time.
I mean, Wise Guys team is what keeps me energized through everyday life. When I started working with the startup scene, Wise Guys was my kind of entryway, so I feel like it's a family. I'm like an adopted startup Wise girl.
I just remember one scene from the Tech Chill 2 months ago when you had the demo day with Swedbank. Nearly all the startups were nearly crying when they said goodbye to the mentors. They can really feel the energy, and I think culture beats everything. And I also see Wise Guys as an execution machine.
Yeah, and people ask that why do you do that? There is no money, and very many accelerators have failed after a year or two. I believe that if you really want to do it, if it's your vision, and then you just can't give up, and you will figure it out how it works.
And you have to pitch at the big stage, right?
Yes. My hands are already shaking.
It's too easy for us because this whole month startup Wise Guys, every day we preaching. It's easy for us.
Now we are only going up, and only the sky is the limit.
This is love for what we do at the end of the day, and this is our life that we want to have.
I already know that when it's over, then I'm gonna cry.
3 minutes of station, now back to work.
Awesome. Oh my God. Whenever I watch this movie, I'm like so pumped afterwards. So
Thrilling.
welcome everyone who joined us. This is Startup Wise Guys team. It's me, Louisa. Might have seen me in various online Q&As and whatever. And we have today Jone, our FinTech 4 Managing Director, and Karina, our Scouting Guru. And we are here today to talk about all things Wise Guys Fintech 4 Acceleration Program. So first things first, let's start with Jone. So what is Wise Guys Fintech 4? When is it happening? What are the most important dates? Go for it.
Okay, so hi everyone. What is Fintech 4? I think today we have been discussing with the team that no one cares about the numbering, so that's one thing. But one thing to remember is that it's a fintech-focused program, right? So we're looking for fintechs in probably a very broad sense, including RegTech and PropTech, InsurTech, particularly interested in also personal finance management solution, payment solution, and I think in even, let's say, more hardcore technologies like core bankings. So this is something that we are looking at. And we are starting this program
all the boring stuff related to that. All the deep techs and analytical part things also here.
Yes, exactly, and the cybersecurity to some extent, but definitely, and maybe not our core focus. So yes, Karina can tell more how she has been excited to work with some of the teams for the past 3 months from this field, and we are starting this exciting, not a boring program, a very tech oriented on October 5th. And that's pretty soon. And we are selecting companies on 14th and 15th of September.
Yeah, so once again, for what exactly kind of themes are we looking for? What are the verticals that we are looking in? And then maybe Jone, you can give input on that one. And then maybe Karina, you can start explaining. So what are the things that you pay attention to when startups apply? How should the teams look like? And what are we looking for?
Yeah, so the verticals are, as I said, it can prop tech, rec tech, data analytics, blockchain to some extent, but it really has to be blockchain and not that we use blockchain to make on top of our actual solution. The stage that we're looking at, I think it's very important. So we usually want the team to have the product already. We are also looking for pre-revenue and post-revenue companies, but of course it's an early stage. So early revenues, first clients, something that we can validate and take further. Yeah, I think this is kind of our core pipeline that we have now.
So this is my turn now to tell what are the things that we are paying attention to. Okay, let's try to explain it. But usually the first thing that we're looking at precisely are the founders, because we are looking for passionate founders that are eager to learn more, to receive a lot of feedback, because they will receive a lot of feedback during the program, and tons of it will be, not surprisingly, not the nice one, but still very productive. And we are looking for people that are willing to be fully dedicated and go full time, even though if now, for example, some of the early stage founders are not fully dedicated, but they need some kind of push to move forward, to, let's say, have first understanding that somebody believes in the product that they do. This is what we are here for, and we honestly we are open to believe in your product. But we are definitely looking at least in two co-founders, looking for a two co-founders team, because solo foundership is possible. And solo founders could be successful, but unfortunately, in the long term, this combination is unstable. So we are always saying that as a first. If you're a solo founder, please take a look around you. Maybe some of your employees or potential employees will be ready to jump with you in the same boat and spend 16 hours working on the product, or maybe you still have to find this person, but we actually pay. This is the number one of our attention list that we are looking at. At least two co-founders in the team should be at least half of their physical time dedicated, but in terms of attention, they should be fully dedicated and passionate about this product. The second thing is MVP, so to say, but it's hard to explain how your minimum viable product should look like, because we're always offering people to test on the real clients and the real in the first steps, to test at least with mockups linked in InVision or in any kind of app, to make sure that people will use it, to make sure that people will even pay for that. So at least something that you could actually show to us could be validated, and could be called MVP. But the best option, of course, is to have working product, and we are paying attention also that the team has a capacity or ability to build to build at least the first version of the product in-house, or vice versa, to build first prototyping with external help, but actually have inside expertise how to run technological products that are built in-house. I think that's it.
Yeah, but I have actually a question on top of that. Are we looking for founders from specific countries? So can anyone apply, or we are still concentrating on some specific countries? Maybe Jone can add on this.
Yeah, I think concentrating on specific countries, we still do, but of course anyone can apply, right? But our concentration is meaning our recruiting effort, where we actually see most of the companies flowing in, where we can really add value, where I think we can be a good gateway to Europe for some of the regions, right? So for sure, we focus on Baltic countries. We focus also on more European countries like Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, and we really try to do our best effort to recruit also from Belarus, Ukraine, Armenia, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Romania. So there's a number of countries that we really put an effort to kind of go virtually and scout virtually. But yeah, we actually have, I think Karina can comment maybe the diversity of the teams applying and where we have those coming from.
Yes, and actually I'm the person that is sitting on this pipe of incoming applications, and I'm constantly happy to announce and report from time to time to the whole Startup Wise Guys team, wow, we have first application from Australia, for example, or from St. Kitts and Nevis, and that was an unexpected understanding for me that I don't know that this is a country, for example. Yes, and we are paying attention to each application, despite the fact that we have, as for now, more or less limited capacities, for example, by providing specific amount of mentors from specific region. We are always open for application from all over the globe. And we are always paying attention to make each of our batch 100% truly international, starting from our equity-free of charge online pre-acceleration programs, finishing with regular equity-based batches. And also, what is important, I think, to mention, we are always practicing long-term maintenance of the long-term relationships, and we offering startups, for example, that are too early, or it will be hard for them to, let's say, grow fast and specific. And even in European region, we have different programs with the different verticals and focuses, and we're always reaching out a bit later to the startups that applied previously and offering them new programs, because we're constantly innovating in terms of programs. And yeah, so application, this is the first step to maintain long-term relationship with the Startup Wise Guys Accelerator.
That's so true, so true. Let's dive a bit more into the program itself. So what is the program? How is it going to look like? How long is it happening? What do the startups gain actually from applying to the accelerator? The program part, and then let's talk the deal part as well. But let's start with the program.
Okay, so maybe I can comment a little bit. I think how the program will look like, we wish someone could tell us specifically. We have all the options from A to Z, I think, how the program can look like. But joking aside, we have built a new model of how we, based on the feedback from startups and how we want to work with them, we build a hybrid model, which means that we work with teams both on-site, physically, as much as we can, and also online for a couple of things. First of all, we want to facilitate founders who have to travel back home, who have to travel back to their families to maybe some duties, to facilitate longer learning, meaning that whatever we hear during acceleration program, the teams have time to implement it. And also, and also to learn the online things. So what we have seen in this kind of COVID reality is that, well, maybe we can pitch online, maybe we can do some Zoom meetings online, but we're very bad at selling, we're very bad at investor relationships when you cannot shake hands. So it's the things that we also want to teach teams to do, not only offline, but in an online world. So this is how we intend it to look like, starting from October 5th to February 19th, with breaks in between. So let's say very roughly 2 weeks on site, 2 weeks online. This is how we plan to go until mid-February. But of course, we have also options that we have already tested, a fully online program if the situation in the world does not allow the teams to travel, and not only the teams, but also the mentors, because as Karina mentioned, our mentor fleet is so international that for us, this is the core, basically, who has to travel every day, meeting with the teams. So yeah, both options are likely. And maybe what we are focusing on in the program. So there are 3 core things. Is of course sales, B2B sales, that we really do kind of the reverse engineering on the sales model. What do you need to achieve? What do you need to do to achieve that? And then we practically sit down with the teams and implement all the tools that they need and all the practice that they need. We listen to their demos and work out the demos with them, so they're actually completely prepared for both sales for SMEs, for enterprises. Then fundraising. This is one of the core things as well that we dive deeper, mainly at the end of the program, but also we start at the beginning to look, okay, so this is an early stage round, but how your next journey will look like, because this is just the beginning and the fun starts after the accelerator, right? And then a lot of things in the founders ABC. So basically, how do you divide the roles and responsibilities in your team? How do you stay effective throughout the program, and et cetera, et cetera. So these are the things. But I think, of course, as for any business, sales and further fundraising and investor relationship is the core.
I maybe I missed something, but did you mention fun? I think there is also a big work-fun balance in each batch, and I would say we always pay attention to create personal relationships and still have, like a good sense of humor, balanced with gifs in a Slack channel and the rest of the things, because they create a new culture and they can create bondings, and they actually, if we will not have during those tough, hard times, so why we are doing that, I would say, yeah. And from my point of view, I also want to mention that the program, I would say, in one word, we were trying to describe it. What could be one word that could describe the whole batch? From my point of view, is unforgettable. It's like a summer camp for adults that you cannot imagine that you can have it when you are already grown up. It's something unbelievably cool, but hard, where the hard work is combined with a lot of personal insights and actually with personal bonding. I think it's also important to mention.
Yeah, I think within, besides the fact that Jone mentioned that we have rethought the program and we are already making it in a way that it would be more flexible for teams that are maybe from further countries, so that they could travel like back and forth. But of course, we are taking into everything that is happening right now, and we are aware that the travels will not be possible. But we have already actually now worked with 2 batches online since the lockdown started, and we have worked on the fun part as well, on the engagement part, because like right now it's even more important to work on that because it's actually harder to gain it. So of course it's a big part of that. So yeah, but I think what you maybe can mention more a bit, Jone, about the program. So hybrid model, these modules, how they will work, maybe the sprint system. So what will it give that we did not have before for the startups for working with their ideas, with their products?
Yeah, I think from my personal perspective, why I'm excited about this model is first that we will give founders more time to really work on what we actually teach them to, right? So we are aware of the fact that probably one of the main things founders say is that Wise Guys program is very intense. And I agree, it is intense. We as a team, we feel it. It's really, there's so much energy. There's so much to learn. There's so many mentors, around 100 of them coming. So what we want to give now for teams is more time to implement what they have learned. And this is where we also, on our side, we can actually judge better. So are the results just not coming because we maybe got the value proposition wrong or identified the client wrong, or this is just because there is a lack of time that we usually hear. So I think this one thing is what I'm excited about. And also, yeah, I think, as I said, the opportunity to learn both worlds, the online and offline. So that for sure we will need. I'm not a big believer that we will all move just online, because I see how much people want to still do things in like offline world. But definitely
they are even ready to spend 2 weeks in quarantine just to get for 2 additional weeks to meet each other. I think it's really important nowadays to still have this kind of, entry moment when you can handshake everyone after all the restriction rules and like checkups.
Yeah, I fully agree. I think this peer-to-peer learning and being around is very important, and this is what that's why we never kind of let go of our offline program module, right? So we always wanted to have it in. We don't want to just go fully online. And this is not maybe something new, but we still try to facilitate it as much as we can. We have already collected some part of the batch that we see the founders are so great that each of them could share so many things. So we already see that building up. Yeah, and I think one more thing that I'm excited about is that we have like really clear modules, as I said, on sales and fundraising and founders ABC that really is much more clear for the startup from A point to AZ, where will they go, right? So it's not, let's say, many topics that they will go through, but it's very clear where we will take them.
But still, you have a lot of space to experiment on that. Like it's never-ending experiments with the formats, especially this year.
That's true, and you also never know. So we have a lot of mentors coming in with their own. Each has their own style of workshops. How do they do them? How do they do the one-on-ones? So there's a lot of experience to be gained for sure. Jone mentioned that you have some teams you have already found out, and I had a question written down. So actually, how many teams do get into a program? So that's like, it's not like we take everyone. So there's a limited number of seats available. Yeah, basically maybe some numbers, how many teams will be selected for the selection bootcamp, how many teams will be selected for the program.
And then ask me how many people are trying to get to those seats.
I can tell how many we want to select, and then I will let Karina kind of do the magic with all the numbers, how many applications she looks through. But yeah, we have more or less, let's say, the standard goal of 10 to maximum 12 companies of fintechs in the batch that we want to select and invest into. And we will select them in the bootcamp. And this is so kind of the short list that all of the companies will be ready to work. We will be ready to work with them, and they will be ready to work with us from around 25. But the numbers, I think, to get to the 25 even are staggering. And I will give it to Karina to tell more how many are applying, how many are dropping out, and
yes, I would say I would not. I don't have the numbers right now in front of my eyes, so I will, improvise and explain how do I see it from the gut feeling. And specifically this year, I would say the competition became even higher because a lot of good founders with good expertise, they left their jobs or they were laid out. And so they decided during the lockdown that they still have like, half a year or a year to live on their savings. But this is the moment for them to start build something really big and interesting. So we have plenty of people that are applying already with more or less working products. And so competition this year is even higher. So we are paying a lot of attention to spend more time to talk and do as many calls as possible with each team, at least to understand how we, for example, can evaluate them. And a lot of teams, unfortunately or luckily, I don't know, many teams from all over the globe, they are applying with the same ideas. So actually, even this small industry or niche of the problem, competition exists right now. Because before that, we were internally not laughing, but actually we were amazed how many startups are trying to build travel-related products or HR recruitment tools. And right now, the competition is even tougher in even niche products. So I would say, depending on what is the product or what is the market aligned with your product that you're building, you can be the only one, or you can have 15 to 20 teams before or after you. So it's hard for me to evaluate in each specific case, but in total, the situation is pretty competitive. I mean, it's already, really crowded area, and a lot of startups are trying to apply and to move forward and get those seats.
So I'd say for anyone who is interested in applying, like, make sure that you answer all of those questions and go through everything that we
I have tips and tricks for that. First, make sure that you filled in all the questions, because if you are not ready to spend 20 minutes of filling in and thinking about what you want to put here as the answer, we actually consider, shall we pay that much attention to your application actually, like as an answer? So we always respectfully and carefully reading everything that you will put there, or believe us. So that there is not only me that is looking at all the things that are in the documents, but actually many people are working on that. And yeah, just make sure that you understand the question and fill in the information that was required. Second moment is make sure that you didn't put weird spam marked email address as a contact one. For example, info.mypetproject.com. Because unfortunately or luckily, I don't know, around 20 to 30% of the startups that are applying not answering after first reach out. Some of them understand maybe that it's not necessary for them to proceed to move forward with conversation, but some of them unfortunately do not receive our emails. So if you applied and you didn't receive any kind of email with more detailed questions from me or my colleagues, please make sure that you checked your spam box, because it often happens. And the latest case, you can write us in a small messenger. They're like, hey, how the things are going. And the third moment is make sure that you give us access to the information, because sometimes people are putting the links on the pitch decks that are restricted, that are closed. They are not adding publicly available information, or they create demo versions of their product, which is also inaccessible from specific tools, like, for example, from mobile phones, and only via test flight and so on. Make sure that all the information that you're putting there is viewable, accessible, and that you will receive an answer from us. The rest we will do.
Oh, that sounds easy.
Yes, it is. It is. It is actually easy. Yes, spam box checking is the easiest one.
It's like, yeah, well, technologies do some tricks sometimes. So please take note of what Karina said. Yeah, I already mentioned. So we talked about the program, how it's going to look like, how you can apply. One important thing I think we talked about also on-site online part. I think for those, but we need to mention what comes together with the acceleration program is a possibility to actually have an office space for the time being. I'm correct, right, Jone? If you decide to join the teams that will be in Vilnius, the program, the on-site part is going to happen in Vilnius. Jone will be there every day. Andra, our colleague, will be there every day. So that's also a part of the program. But so the question about the deal of the program. So there's the acceleration program part. There's the office space. There's the network that we can give you. But the most often asked question is about the money, about the equity. So maybe Jone, you can explain all of this.
Yeah, so I think actually it's funny because when we talk with the teams, they never say, okay, so let's talk about money. So it's us who like, okay, so let's talk about the money. So how much and, for what do you need? So an interesting part is that probably we used to have like a very standard deal and we are really trying to stick to it. But with the fintechs, it becomes a bit trickier because there's always a much longer time needed to build the product, to reach the market, to sell to the customer. So we have, let's say, ramped up the deal a little bit. And we invest from 30,000 euros plus the program to, higher amounts, like probably also in some rare cases 100,000 euros, but the average for the past fintech program was from around 50,000 euros. So we have two different deals: pre-revenue teams, 30,000 euros plus the program, and post-revenue, depending on how much revenue. So that can be, the trickier part, from 50,000 euro up. And of course, we always investigate the revenue in a sense. Was that a one-time deal? Was it kind of the, we call it the vanity metrics? When the teams come with some revenue, all early stage investors get so excited. It's like, oh, this team has revenue. And then you understand that they have been sticking to that for the past 2 years. So we always will find our ways to find information. So yeah. This is the deal. And of course, the co-working, which might not be relevant, but we're so excited about it. We sit there for half a year and picture ourselves with all the teams around, like 40 people hustling. And maybe that's not the best time to imagine it, but we are still hopeful.
Yeah, and it's good that you mentioned the co-working, because the next question I wanted to ask is, fintech, at this time, I think we have even more partners for this program than we have had before. And we have lots of different kind of partners. So Jone, you know all of them best, but maybe you can give a bit of input on them, what kind of partners we have, what they will give and add to the program, because they are coming with different things. And it can be also very interesting for startups to find out that part.
Yeah. So I think for the first time in Wise Guys history, we went for the program that has many partners, but we still have one core partner, which is the EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. So it's usually for the, let's say, fintech players, for fintech startups and founders, or founders from banking sector. It's a very big and unknown name. It's the largest, institutional investor in Europe. So we are really happy to have them on board for the program. And why we chose the partnership is also mainly to our focus on this specific on the region that starting from the Baltics, starting from Poland and Baltics, going more to the east. This is where we found that both us as Wise Guys and EBRD can really add value by developing the fintech ecosystem. So I think for already some of our startups have had the kind of the pleasure to meet EBRD guys and to talk with them about how potentially they could cooperate, and they are really good at opening doors to other banks. So this is what we are mainly looking for. And the rest of the partners, so we have several banks on our board, so SAB Bank, Swedbank, OP Bank, that also is very important for us to provide mentorship to help us evaluate applications as well. So for example, whenever we have a company that says like our core clients are banks, we always check with banks, like, is this something that you would be buying from a startup, because there are high risks involved. And then later they come in really very openly to give kind of the sandboxes, to entrance to even their board level to pitch the ideas. And we have seen that like really talking between us and the whole Facebook Live, they're becoming so much better at really working with startups. So we have seen this journey for the past 5-7 years, how corporates are working with startups, and they're really becoming, true, let's say, flagship carriers of startups being incorporated in their banks. And then we have Oracle, that we will also be working on the specific partnerships with startups. So they have expressed their interest as well, and we have seen Oracle as being one of the core clients of fintech startups. And our good partners also from past batch, legal company Sorainen, that is providing help and legal consultations for our startups, because since it's fintechs and we're doing it in Lithuania, there is a lot to talk about. And also Google, that is working with us on a mentorship basis, and helps us as well to work out the best, let's say, growth hacking models for the teams. So there's a number of startups partners, but we really, on our side, what's important, and also to know for startups, we don't take them for their brand, or I don't know, just having them there. We take them because they actually put down the list how they can help startups. So for that, we are quite selective, but this time we really wanted to open more bank doors and more corporate doors for startups.
I'm even like a bit tired of listening. How many things will happen? How many partners? No, like of how many things are happening in this program. Like it sounds like so super intense, and that you can actually gain so much. So if I would know anything about fintech, I would definitely try to go this direction. But unfortunately,
there is never too late, Louise.
Yeah, my knowledge is
never too late to start.
But awesome. I think it is. I think it's really a great opportunity, and it's great to see these partners are also joining, and that they are on top of our 200 mentor network. We add them, and it's really a gain for startups. So. Yeah, I think we actually, what I see from our comments, people are just happy about what we are saying. So
just happy, and that's it. The same goes with the pitch. When the startups are doing 3-minute pitch, and after that, no question, the right pops up. So that means either everything is so clear but a bit boring that actually nobody wants to ask anything, because it's obvious, it's clear. Either it's totally unclear, so they don't have any food for thought. They don't know what to ask. So the fact that we're not having any questions, even simplest one, actually scares me.
I think a good question to ask, also from hearing so much that is happening in the program, what they will gain, is, so why should I apply? If I'm a startup, why should I apply for an accelerator program? And I think, Jone, you have talked about this. So maybe you can give like 2-3 sentences on this. If someone is sitting and thinking, is it for me or not? How can they know?
I have also something to add, but I will wait.
Okay, Karina, you can actually go ahead, because this is not something I always pitch to startups.
Yeah, okay, let me pitch it. I'm not pitching that usually, because I prefer to work with the startups that are definitely not have a clear understanding what is acceleration program, but we are always asking on initial calls, what you guys are actually looking for. And the acceleration programs is not about money specifically. Of course, we have investment, but it's the first thing that people need that when they start to do their early stage startup, or even started to sell it more or less actively, they to scale and to proceed fast with that, they have to receive a lot of feedback. So this ask for feedback, this willingness to share thoughts and receive something back and actually learn on the go, this is the main thing that they're supposed to have. Like I encourage always teams on any kind of stage, because any kind of stage founder, doesn't matter how mature is the team, they all of them, they have something to learn over and over again. The same was, for example, in parenting. But the kids, when you have first kid, you think you know everything. Then second kid comes and like, oh my God, there's something different. And the third thing, you think you're a king of parenting. No, you're not. You're constantly learning over and over again. The same with the startups. For example, we have plenty of really skilled, experienced funders that already have 10, 15 years of entrepreneurship on their back, but they are still eager to learn, and they're still open for communication and for let's say feedback. This is most important thing, and for mentorship. And those that are open, that actually for this kind of things, and they progress a lot on during any of our programs.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah.
Did I answer? But yeah, this is the thing that I actually.
There will be again like no questions because no one understands anything. No, but I think yeah, I can add maybe to Karina. First of all, you don't come to acceleration program for money, right? So accelerators will never give you big tickets, matching, venture capital funds. So this is very important to keep in mind. You come here for the program. You come here because you believe in the mentors and the coaches that we have. You want to increase the speed of what you would do, like probably 6 times slower, 10 times slower. This is where we come in, and us and our coaches push you there. And one thing very specific about Wise Guys is that as maybe you might imagine accelerators would jump in at an early stage, accelerate you, and then forget about you. And I think what's magical about Star Wise Guys is that even with really fast growing portfolio, we managed to stay with the teams for their lifetime, our lifetime, and really support throughout the way. And this is really important because the journey is very long, and you actually have to have the support from early stage investors to work together with them. So
yes, I totally agree with Jone on that topic. This is one of the biggest benefits that our alumni, they become our part of the family. I would say Startup Wise Guys family, that is always so helpful. And one of the benefits that I could not mention, which I think is also the same useful as money, is actually our alumni crowd from all over the globe, and our Slack, alumni Slack, is always vibrant, and there are always people that are sharing knowledge, ask for help, connect with each other, and help each other, even though they don't know each other like in person, because it often happens. You have different batches and people that went through that in different years. But I think this is what means long-term relationships.
That's so true. It actually links. We received the question of is there any limit on the age of the company? And I think we have had different stages. Jone is like, yes, me. So go for it.
No, but this is not something that maybe people will like what they hear. But in this specific fintech program, so that does not apply to all Wise Guys programs. We wanted the founders to establish the company in Lithuania. And this means that either it's a new company or also the company itself as a kind of legal body cannot be older than 5 years. So usually, like, this is not a problem. We have a support team and specialists who help with establishment, with the relocation. Also, there are different ways how we structure the holdings. For example, if founders already have the company. But yeah, this is a specific limitation for this fintech program that does not maybe apply to others, but important to keep in mind. But not for founders. Definitely not for founders.
Yeah, we don't have any age limit for founders. We don't have almost any limits here. The only thing I would say, it often happens that teams that are coming to us and applying, we could qualify them as mature, sustainable, stable companies that actually built a new product. So let's say it often happens that they're coming to us with a spin-off. And it's, I would say this is something totally new for them. And it's quite okay for them to jump into this new journey, but they have to consider how much time they could spend on that, because we want founders to be fully dedicated. And it often happens. We have had some kind of stories in our past that the founders delegated 100% the main business and jumped into the new spin-off, failed, succeed. There are different stories on that topic, but it was an unforgettable experience for them. And I'm glad that our team was a part of their journey. And I still think that it's a total success that people are still willing to experiment and to do something new and encouraged to do something new.
Yeah, that's why I linked it when you were speaking about our alumni network, because we have so many different stories from our alumni, and they are actually willing to help and explain their journey. And we have had previous batches in Lithuania as well. So there are companies that have gone through also this registration process, and they can share some tips and tricks on how to move on faster, etc. So this is where the alumni network comes in, no matter also the age of the company or if it's a spin-off or whatever. So we have a lot of people here that can help. But yeah, I think that's kind of it. We have covered all of the most important things. I think for everyone who are listening, who have been, I will share afterwards links, but you can actually see, I have written there, startupwiseguys.com/fintech. That's the place where to go if you want to apply.
May I add something in terms of if you want to apply? We actually, as I see from the results in our internal tool, people are applying randomly. So no worries. As soon as you will find the button apply on any of our pages, you can apply. We will sort out it for you. No worries with that. We are practicing zero waste approach in applications. So we are making sure that your application will not get lost, and we will not put it in the trash. No worries with that.
I wanted to help you by sorting them already before they apply, but of course they can apply with any button. we have a lot.
No, but this link is actually very useful for you guys and ladies that are watching us, actually to read the main explanation about the program. And with the application, you can tap on any button.
Yeah,
you see, Karina will do all the work for you.
Not only me, actually. Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah, what I wanted to add, remember August 28th is the last day for applications open. Karina will say that do not wait till the last day to apply.
Please do not wait. Not only because we will have tons of work. The problem is that if you will apply on the last day, you will have the minimum chances that we will pay attention to your application and will create right decision. So for us, it's important to take a look, be precise, think about your product. Consider how you can benefit from our program, how we can proceed with you. It's tons of many things, and actually we also ask additional information and schedule additional calls with you. So if you will apply at the last moment, I would say there is little chance that we can pay enough attention and create good decision to according to the information you provided. And but we will not throw it out for sure. At least we will store it, keep it for best moments in next programs. I'm joking. Of course, you will definitely receive an answer. But make sure that only 1 week something left till the end of this open window of possibilities, and good luck. So apply at least 2 or 3 days before the deadline. This is the latest moment that could be fruitful for you, beneficial.
Yeah, I think maybe just very quickly to add, maybe by interrupting the end of this live, but just like the application process, as Karina mentioned, it's not that teams apply and we say you are in or you are out. It will probably
here's the money, you are in.
It will probably take at least 3 calls with a team to get to the bootcamp, and I would say this is at least. And if there's something a bit more, hard tech, or like the requirements of investment are higher, definitely will take more calls. So for us also to facilitate calls with the same team in the same week by all of our experts and team members is almost impossible. So definitely don't wait and use the chance to kind of get as many calls with us as you can, because then we can really work out a nice deal and kind of partnership with you.
Totally agree with Jone on that.
Mic drop.
Good.
Thank you, ladies, for the nice chat. For everyone who was listening, go visit that website, because maybe if you found there's something that we did not mention, or if you have some questions, you can always find anyone from us. We have our social media sites. You can write us there if needed, or you can just start filling that application, fill it, finish it, and we will have a call with you, 3 calls even, if you get that far. And hope to see you applying, hope to see you in the bootcamp if successful. And thank you for watching, and thank you, ladies, for joining for the chat.
Thank you very much, everyone. If somebody watched us, I don't know how many. How many? Yes, that's good. I'm glad. Thank you very much, Jone and Louisa.
Bye.
Bye.